Welcome to Black and Red Talks, your daily dose of AC Milan news. Big update from Sky on the Milan transfer market and potential dealings with Juventus. Juve has made a move for Antonio Silva with a loan offer, but Benfica isn't budging without a purchase option. Juventus won't give up easily. They're also eyeing Milan's Sergio Tomori and David Hanko. They need two defenders after Danilo was sidelined. Meanwhile, Danilo's received interest from Napoli and Conte, who sees him as a key player, but Milan's also keeping an eye on him. Alfredo Pedullo recently provided fresh insights on AC Milan's transfer market involving Davide Calabria. Today, rumors linked Calabria to Juventus, suggesting a free transfer since his contract is up in June with no renewal expected. However, this seems to be pure speculation, as Juventus has shown zero interest and has had no contact with him. On the flip side, Como made a solid offer to bring him in January. Calabria is considering it among other international proposals and might just accept. Juventus, though, is definitely out of the picture. With reports from Gazzetta dello Sport, new manager Sergio Conceicao is set to make a big impact on AC Milan's transfer strategy. Jorge Mendes, Conceicao's agent, manages a vast network of players, making him a key player in potential deals. Milan's main priority? Scoring goals. Despite their attacking strength, they struggle to find the back of the net. It's decision time for players like Okafor and Chuck Woos. Mendes might line up Francisco Trincao for Milan. At 25, he's an exciting winger with a knack for playing on the right, but has yet to shine at a top club. Valued at $25 million, Trincao could be Milan's next big star. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, the dismissal of Paulo Fonseca has created quite a stir at AC Milan. A key figure yesterday was Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who addressed the team following Fonseca's departure. In classic Zlatan style, he motivated the squad, emphasizing that the recent defeat was a collective failure, not just the coach's fault. He urged for a change in attitude, pointing out that the team's current standing wasn't acceptable. With no more excuses, it's on the players to step up. The club sees Sergio Conceicao, known for his ability to challenge top teams like Arsenal, Juventus, and Milan in the Champions League, as the ideal leader. There's a belief that with more than half the season ahead, everything can turn around. The transfer saga surrounding Sergio Tomori is heating up as the January market approaches. Reports suggest that Milan and Torino are nearing a deal for a costly loan with a mandatory purchase option. Tomori is reportedly excited about the move, eager to reunite with Kalulu in Torino. However, the appointment of Sergio Conceicao as coach might slow things down. The Portuguese manager wants a few days to assess Tomori before greenlighting the transfer. The inside scoop from Gazzetta dello Sport unveils Sergio Conceicao's expected arrival at AC Milan. Weeks ago, Mendes and Conceicao were already in discussions with the club, raising eyebrows over whether this was precautionary or disrespectful to Paulo Fonseca. A contract agreement was in place, and documents were exchanged, with Conceicao ready to step in even during the Verona-Milan clash. The transition awaited only a lackluster performance against Roma. Late Sunday night, as whisperings spread from Portugal to Italy, AC Milan made the decisive move after a disappointing match. Around midnight, the pivotal virtual handshake sealed the deal. According to Sport Italia, signs indicate that the relationship between Fonseca and AC Milan had deteriorated. Fonseca claimed there was no argument with IBRA, but notably, in his farewell message to the Milan community, he thanked everyone except the management. Additionally, both Milan and Fonseca have unfollowed each other on Instagram. Clearly, something went down, leaving Fonseca isolated. Sergio Conceicao is officially AC Milan's new head coach following the club's decision to part ways with Paulo Fonseca. The former Porto manager immediately faces a tough challenge, preparing for a high-stakes match against Juventus. Today, the team is heading to Saudi Arabia to compete for the season's first available trophy, the Italian Super Cup. The stakes are high as Conceicao steps up to prove his mettle right from the get-go. Sergio Tomori's future is the hottest topic in AC Milan's January transfer market saga. According to Tuttosport, Milan and another club are close to finalizing a loan deal with a purchase obligation. Tomori is excited about potentially joining Torino, reuniting with Kalulu. However, the recent arrival of coach Sergio Conceicao could delay the process. The Portuguese manager wants a few days to assess Tomori before giving the definitive green light for the move. Stay tuned. Paulo Fonseca has been relieved of his duties as AC Milan's head coach following a 1-1 draw against Roma. According to La Gazzetta dello Sport, he visited Milanello yesterday to say his emotional goodbyes. Fonseca expressed deep pride in having had the opportunity to manage a prestigious club like Milan, even though the desired results weren't achieved. His departure marks the end of a chapter filled with both challenges and unforgettable experiences for the team. AC Milan's transfer market is heating up. According to Tuttosport, the Rossoneri and Juventus have reached a preliminary agreement for Tomori's transfer. However, the deal isn't moving forward just yet, as new coach Conceicao needs time to evaluate the squad, which might shake up the pecking order. The potential move would be a loan with an obligation to buy. Stay tuned as things develop. Sergio Conceicao has officially taken over as AC Milan's head coach, stepping in for Paulo Fonseca. La Gazzetta dello Sport highlights that the former Porto coach was chosen for his strong character and positive influence in the locker room. It's important to note that this decision was made by Jerry Cardinale, the head of Redbird and the club's owner. Sergio Conceicao has stepped in as AC Milan's new head coach after the club announced the departure of Paulo Fonseca. Formerly with Porto, Conceicao is already gearing up for the Italian Super Cup. His strengths lie in strong defensive tactics and effective wing play. It will be interesting to see how quickly he can adapt his style to Milan's current squad. We're closing in on the big moment as Sergio Conceicao gears up for his press debut as AC Milan's new head coach. Just in, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has arrived at Milanello to support the former Porto manager. Expect a flurry of questions, particularly about why Paulo Fonseca was let go. Stay tuned to see how Zlatan and Conceicao plan to shape Milan's future together, creating a buzz around this exciting new chapter. Sergio Conceicao is stepping in as AC Milan's new manager, and it's set to shake up the transfer scene. Despite dominating the attack, Milan still struggles to find the net. This has sparked discussions with agent Jorge Mendes about the future of Trincao, one of the brightest talents around. Keep an eye out for significant updates in the coming days, as these talks could lead to exciting developments for the Rossoneri. In the thrilling clash between AC Milan and Roma, Theo Hernandez found himself thrust into the spotlight, proudly wearing the captain's armband. As tensions rose, Theo called out to referee Fabri, asserting his role, "I'm the captain." Fabri, however, was caught in a heated exchange with Alvaro Morata, prompting Theo to urge, "Talk to me, not Morata." The referee's controversial decisions didn't stop there. He booked Morata for dissent and later sent Paulo Fonseca off from the bench. Journalist Matteo Moretto from Relevo shares that Davide Calabria might soon part ways with AC Milan, sparking interest from Juventus for a potential free transfer. Talks of renewing his contract with the Rossoneri have stalled in recent months. Meanwhile, Emerson Royal has taken over Calabria's spot as the starting right back. The news is buzzing with the latest from AC Milan. Fonseca's journey with the club has officially ended. Last night, he was handed his dismissal, and today we're diving into the key details of his now former contract. According to Sky Sports, the Portuguese coach is set to receive a severance package equivalent to 8 months of his salary. A unique clause in his contract stated that if he was let go within 6 months, Milan would only need to pay for the first year of his salary. After the Milan-Roma match, DAZN's post-game show, Open VAR, dissected several controversial moments. However, they skipped over the contentious contact between Pisili and Reinders, stirring up considerable frustration among Rossoneri fans. Many felt it was a clear penalty that deserved attention, but wasn't discussed on the show. The likely reason? Roma's player's sliding challenge wasn't seen as intentionally targeting the Milan player, despite contact with the trailing leg. Check out this unbelievable stat shared by Optapallo about AC Milan's brand new head coach, Sergio Conceicao, officially stepping in for the recently dismissed Paulo Fonseca. During his managerial stint with Porto in the Portuguese Primeira Liga from 2017 to 2024, Conceicao led the team to some astonishing records. They secured the highest win rate at 77%, suffered the fewest losses at just 9%, conceded only 0.7 goals on average per match, and maintained clean sheets in 50% of their games. Truly impressive. AC Milan's new contract details with Sergio Conceicao have dropped. Following Paulo Fonseca's exit, Conceicao is set to join the club with a contract running until June 30th, 2026. There's a key clause. Milan can opt to end the agreement after just 6 months, by June 30th, 2025. During this period, Conceicao and his staff will earn €1.5 million. If they continue beyond June 2025, their salary will bump up to €3.5 million, including the staff. Exciting times are ahead for Milan fans. Enrico Curro from La Repubblica shares insights on the current situation at AC Milan. The management is under fire, especially following the consideration of Fonseca's dismissal. The ongoing investigation by Milan's judiciary into the club's ownership raises questions about who actually runs things daily. There's a looming concern that Conceicao might find out the hard way. After Fonseca's departure, AC Milan's coaching situation took an unexpected twist with insights from Alfredo Padula. It turns out Maurizio Sarri was Milan's initial target last Friday, despite any official denials. Talks had been ongoing for months. They proposed the same contract offered to Conceicao, an 18-month deal with an extension option until 2027, contingent on Champions League qualification. Sarri declined out of respect for his current role, leaving the door open for Conceicao to step in. According to reports, AC Milan is feeling the impact of fan protests at San Siro. Noted journalist Enrico Curro highlights that owner Jerry Cardinali is reportedly frustrated with the lack of enthusiasm from supporters. This, despite recently announcing a partial refinancing of the club's debt with Elliott, covering €170 million out of a hefty €700 million at an interest rate of 13%, pushing the deadline to 2028, a move hoped to excite the fan base. Big shakeup in Milan as Sergio Conceicao steps in as the new head coach. After a dull 0-0 draw with Juventus and the recent sacking of Fonseca, the Milan management decided it was time for a change. Conceicao, formerly with Porto, was secretly at the top of their lists in summer rumors. This decision highlights the club's acknowledgement of past mistakes, aiming to revitalize their Champions League hopes. Stay tuned as Conceicao's era begins at Milan. AC Milan just introduced Sergio Conceicao as the new manager, and the team is heading to Saudi Arabia. Notably absent from the bus is Samuel Chukwueze, sidelined in Milan after his injury against Roma, along with Okafor. However, Rafael Leao and Christian Pulisic are traveling with the squad and will be assessed upon arrival in Saudi Arabia. It's a crucial moment to see how the team adapts under Conceicao's leadership. Leao hasn't fully bounced back from his injury against Verona before Christmas. However, Milan is making every effort to have him ready for Friday night's Supercoppa Italiana's semi-final clash with Juventus. According to sources from Milanews 24, the Portuguese number 10 will travel with the team to Saudi Arabia, hoping to make a comeback on the pitch just in time. Can his presence make the difference for Milan? Let's keep our eyes on this developing story. During his introductory press conference as AC Milan's new coach, Conceicao addressed the topic of the upcoming January transfer window. He expressed a desire to deeply understand the current squad, highlighting not only the senior team, but also the young talents in Milan's future lineup. Conceicao emphasized that discussing potential new signings is premature, as he needs time to fully assess both experienced players and emerging stars. Paulo Fonseca has been dealt a 2-game suspension by the sports judge following his actions during the Milan vs. Roma match. Here's the scoop. Fonseca got into hot water for fiercely contesting a referee's call just before halftime. His reaction escalated into an insulting remark aimed at the fourth official upon receiving a red card. Alongside the suspension, he's been handed a warning, marking his 4th sanction, and fined €5,000. A tough lesson for Fonseca as he steps away from the sidelines. Conceicao addressed the rumors about AC Milan's summer interest in bringing him to Milan as Pioli's successor after leaving Porto. Despite the challenging exit from Porto, he emphasized that timing wasn't crucial. He frequently received offers in Portugal. Arriving at Milan just yesterday, he appreciated the rapid transition and excitement of managing one of football's most historically prestigious clubs. Today, he held a press conference, recognizing the respect owed to both fans and the club. Milan is off to Saudi Arabia for the Italian Super Cup Showdown. Here's the exciting lineup headed to battle Juventus on Friday and potentially in the final. Coach Conceicao has called up 28 players, including 5 young stars from Milan future and key names like Musa, Loftus-Cheek, Leao, and Pulisic, who missed Fonseca's recent matches. Goalkeepers: Maignan, Sportiello, Rivera, Torriani defenders, Calabria, Emerson Royal, Gabbia, Tomori, Pavlovic, Theo, Jimenez, Trajano, Bardesaghi midfielders, Reinders, Fofana, Benacer, Musa, Loftus-Cheek, Zeroli, Voss forwards, Morata, Leao, Pulisic, Abraham, Camarda, Jovic, Chaka Traore. Stay tuned for a thrilling match. Chukwue's recovery timeline has been extended following his injury against Roma. Milanews 24 reports that tests revealed a left hamstring injury for the Nigerian player. He will be re-evaluated in 10 days, but it looks like he'll be sidelined for at least a month. This marks the first significant absence for Coach Conceicao to manage. Fabiana Della Valle from Gazzetta dello Sport has revealed that AC Milan is open to selling English defender Fikayo Tomori. Juventus is keen on acquiring him, but there's a catch. They need to gather €30 million from player sales to make it happen. Milan has given the green light for the transfer, making Tomori the closest target for Juve. The challenge remains whether Juventus can raise the necessary funds for this influential signing. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, Sergio Conceicao's arrival as coach could shake up AC Milan's transfer strategy. They're eyeing players in the Jorge Mendes network, who also represents Conceicao. Scoring remains a pressing issue for Milan, with Fonseca citing this concern after a recent match against Roma. The club is evaluating the roles of Okafor and Chukwueze once Chukwueze is fit, considering offloading one to potentially make room for Trincao. Despite his bright potential, Trincao struggled at top clubs like Barcelona. Now at Sporting Lisbon, his market value sits around €25 million. AC Milan has set clear expectations for Sergio Conceicao following his appointment, succeeding the departed Paulo Fonseca. During his 7 years at Porto, Conceicao amassed 11 trophies, advanced to the Champions League quarter-finals twice, and helped the club earn $400 million through player sales, including talents like Militao and Luis Diaz. Now Milan wants him to replicate this success, winning games and boosting finances. According to journalist Carlos Passerini of Corriere della Sera, Sergio Conceicao, AC Milan's new head coach, is already making his mark with a tough, no-nonsense approach. During his first training session, he pushed the players hard under the cold night sky and bright floodlights, frequently shouting, "You're strong, but you need to believe it." Conceicao led an intense 2-hour practice, the likes of which the team hadn't experienced in quite some time. It's a necessary start, as there's no more time to waste. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, the journey to appoint Sergio Conceicao as AC Milan's new coach has been quite straightforward. Milan has now officially chosen Conceicao, a bond that started last spring. Back then, Sergio was preparing to part ways with Porto and was already keen on Milan. His agent, Jorge Mendes, had multiple discussions with Jerry Cardinale, expressing Conceicao's interest. Although Milan initially considered other options like Fonseca and Sarri, Jerry Cardinale ultimately made the call, recalling those initial talks with Mendes. La Gazzetta dello Sport presents an intriguing January transfer scenario for AC Milan involving Jorge Mendes. Key amongst potential signings is Francisco Trincao, a versatile 25-year-old attacker from Sporting Lisbon, valued at around €25 million. With 6 goals and 11 assists this season, he could be a fit if Okafor or Chukwueze departs. Also on the radar are Borussia Dortmund's American talent Giovanni Reina and Sporting's Daniel Braganza, should Benacer's fitness remain uncertain. Milan's strategic moves could spark a Conceicao-led revolution. According to Sky, AC Milan is eyeing some experienced players for the January transfer window to bolster Sergio Conceicao's squad. Danilo, the former Man City star, has caught Milan's interest alongside Napoli. There's also talk involving Tomori, although for now, his transfer is on hold after Conceicao's arrival. Exciting times ahead as Milan strategizes to strengthen their team with seasoned talents while keeping key players in place. Big twist unveiled by Enrico Curro of Repubblica regarding AC Milan's summer decision to appoint Paulo Fonseca as head coach, who was dismissed this morning. It turns out that despite appearances, the choice wasn't unanimous. Fonseca was picked over the expensive Conte and Conceicao after fans rejected Lopetegui. The decision reportedly came from Singer, drawing Fonseca from Lille, a club once under Elliot's influence. Nicolo Schira, a well-known market analyst, has revealed an exciting update. Sergio Conceicao is set to take over as AC Milan's head coach today. Conceicao recently turned down 2 Premier League offers, choosing instead to lead Milan. He has a strong connection to Serie A, having enjoyed some of his best years here as a player. His journey with Milan begins today, and fans are buzzing with anticipation for what this new chapter will bring to the club. Sergio Conceicao has been officially named the new coach of AC Milan. The former Porto boss inked a deal yesterday, committing to the Rossoneri until 2026. However, in an interesting twist reported by Sky Sport, there's a unique clause. Milan can choose to end the contract unilaterally after just 6 months, right at this season's end. This adds an extra layer of intrigue to Conceicao's tenure. The January transfer window is about to kick off, and AC Milan is gearing up to make moves. A key player to watch is Davide Calabria. His contract runs until 2025, but there are whispers about Juventus showing interest recently. Matteo Moretto suggests keeping an eye on this situation. As Milan navigates the market, their strategies could surprise us all. Stay connected for every twist and turn involving our Rossoneri squad this transfer season. It seems there was an internal shakeup at Milan that could have happened even before Christmas. According to Pep Di Stefano from Sky Sport 24, the cracks in the relationship with Fonseca began after a draw against Genoa during Milan's 125th anniversary celebration. If Milan hadn't secured a win against Verona, a coaching change was already on the table. Despite a brief holiday break, the tension leading up to the game against Roma was palpable, ultimately leading to Fonseca's dismissal. Paulo Fonseca is out, and Sergio Conceicao is in. After the recent match against Roma, AC Milan made the big announcement, bringing in the Portuguese coach to steer the ship. But wait, there's more. Before landing Conceicao, Milan was exploring other options. According to Corriere dello Sport, the club reached out to Maurizio Sarri. However, the former Napoli, Juventus, and Lazio manager turned down the offer of a 6-month contract. Ikeo Tomori is inching closer to a move to Juventus. The Bianconeri are stepping up their defense adjustments, especially with Danilo's exit expected soon and the potential acquisition of 2 center-backs. Tomori, the English defender, is a top priority. According to Tuttosport, Juve and Milan have agreed on the transfer. However, there's a twist. Sergio Conceicao's impending arrival could alter plans if he decides not to include Tomori in his lineup strategy. According to Sky, AC Milan is eyeing experienced players for the upcoming January transfer window under manager Sergio Conceicao. Danilo, the former Manchester City player, is attracting not just Napoli, but also Milan's interest. He might be part of broader negotiations involving Tomori. However, any potential departure of the English defender is on hold for now with Conceicao's arrival.